Welcome to another episode of Two Ales and Hockey Tales with Wally. And today, heute, I'm so excited to have on a 34-year-old, a 34-year-old from Bietigheim, Deutschland, or Germany, folks. He is born and raised in Bietigheim and pretty near spent his whole career in Bietigheim. Ran a muck of the junior leagues, earning his way on to Team Germany under Oxen, folks, under 18s. He broke into the pro team in 07-08, then became a staple of the squad the next season and became a Deutscher Meister with yours truly. He then became a Pokal champion with yours truly. Then Dougie pissed in the guy's skate. Then in 2012-13, those punks won the Pokal and were Deutsche Meisters again, breaking my heart. He has been having his way in the fourth league with Bietigheim ever since, and it looks like he's still doing it with Shripsy and the fellas. Welcome to my kitchen, Marcel Neumann.
Hey, well,
how are you,
nice
man? Yeah, nice to see you. It's been a while.
Yeah, busy, but I'm good.
Yeah, all good. Where do you live now? Bietigheim? That looks like a new place.
Yes, we have a new place here since 2017.
Oh,
we
yeah.
moved here in.
Where in Bietigheim are you?
Look.
Yeah, let's look. Maybe I can recognize where we're at here.
Yeah, it's a little bit higher than Konrad-Rodenburger Straße, higher and left.
Oh, yeah. So you're on that side of town. You're on the other side of the walking street from the arena.
Yes.
Konrad Rotenberger Straße. That's where we lived. Ran amok there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very good place there.
That was a great place when we had all the fellas living there, like Schmitty, and then he left and Sharpie took his place and Dougie was there. Great time. Hammer time, Schweinebraten in the neighborhood. Yeah. What a neighborhood. A lot of shed guys lived there.
And Pavel?
Pavel, the doctor. So I'm going to start off with the story of that. Are you playing hockey with his son, Fabian?
Yes.
Is that his son that's on the team you play for now?
Yeah.
So my story of that is Pavel, the team doctor, lived right below my flat in Bietigheim. And in a game, a preseason game, I took a puck to the mouth, and you could say it concussed me, but also cut open my mouth. And he didn't have the tools to get her done at the rink. So we headed back to my apartment, and I was throwing up in a garbage can, and he was stitching the inside of my mouth shut on my couch in the apartment. It was quite the experience. When I was throwing up, he'd be like mid-stitch. I'm like, oh, get it out. And my other favorite Dr. Dolitzel, Pavel's story for me is he was freezing my shoulder for a game, and he put the needle in, and I passed out right when we were going out for warm-up. And then I woke up and you guys were already out on the ice. And then we sat there for a while. He's like, oh, I might have mixed it a little strong. Good times.
I think he did this twice. I think he mixed it too strong for Dirk also in the championship game in Munich.
That could happen, right? It did definitely happen to me. Yeah. I remember then I finally was like, okay, I think I'm ready to go out for warm-ups. You guys were like in the middle of it. And then they're like, okay, we're going to be watching you. And then I like went out. My legs were all shaky and I thought I was going to fall down. That was an exciting game. So I get into how we know each other. Where do we start? What do you think, Marcy? I think Deutsche Meisters, eh? That's the coolest.
Yeah, that's the start. First, we met the year before when we played you in the playoffs, first round, I think.
Yeah, Landshut versus Bietigheim. Yeah.
Yeah. And
that's like your rookie year, right? That's when you're just breaking in. But I saw you played 20 games regular season, but then you did play all the playoff games and put in an assist too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But that's when you started being a regular.
One of my 2 points in my season.
Hey, that's okay. But we did win that time, Landshut won. We went to the finals. We almost won,
Yeah, I know. Kassel. right?
Yeah.
Castle had an awesome season that year.
And you know what? I misremembered. I said that I got offered from Bietigheim right after that series, but you know what? I misremembered because I do recall then we end up putting out Helbra in the second round. And in the handshake lineup at the end of that round, Rico said, "Hey, if you ever want to play for me, let me know," type deal. And then it was after that series though that Bietigheim did offer. So I was going into the finals and I had the two places talking to me. And you know who it was? It was Alexander Sarakov. I remember this story. He went to the Hellbron Landsuit games once we had put you out, and he watched me play, and he was the one that told Brittig that I was good in the corners and that I would fit well with him and Justin. And you know what? I think he was right. You know? So it was Sari that got me the job in Bietigheim. I remember now.
Great.
Isn't that cool? But hey, I was thinking about this because I won in Elmira, my hometown, and that was just junior B. When we won it that year, like that's your hometown. You got to see your hometown party like that.
Oh yeah. Great time.
It was a party.
Unbelievable. Everything was perfect.
It was.
We won Friday, so we came home Friday late. Then Saturday was the parade. I think it was late April.
And it was a beautiful day.
Beautiful day. It was hot. Everybody was in short shirts.
Short shorts, like cut off jean shorts, right?
Also a couple. whole town was outside downtown city.
It was the
awesome.
The Fußgänger zone was on fire that night, and I mean literally. But yeah, it was so hot you'd want to cut your jeans off and have a party, right?
Yeah, I think never all the other parties, all the other championship wasn't that big and that special.
You know what? That's what Renee told me, and thanks for telling me that. Dankeschön. Yeah, because well, I guess you got to win one more time, eh? You were there the year after I was asked to leave.
Yes.
You won again, eh? Way to go.
Yeah. And this was also a little bit.
It's cool. You said it wasn't the same. I wasn't there. I know. I get it.
It wasn't the same.
No, it wasn't the same.
It was different because the year before we almost went down.
Yeah.
And then
we were brutal.
We won the championship also with Dougie and PJ and Kevin. PJ and Dougie had a 2-year contract. Kevin tried to get me out also before the season.
He tried to get you out too?
Yeah.
Was your dad still the president and he was trying to get you out?
Yeah.
That guy had no shade.
Maybe you should go to Oberliga team and play more power play. And I said no, I want to stay in Bietigheim. And
did you already had a contract already? And he was
No.
I still remember when PJ and Dougie called me that summer. I had already got my deal in Hellbron. It was pretty clear he didn't want me back. It was very clear he didn't like me. He wouldn't talk to me. He wanted nothing to do with me from the day he got there. But then I get the offer from Hellbron, and then I remember calling him because I thought I'd play Bietigheim my whole career. I thought I wasn't going anywhere forever. And then once that was happening, when he became the coach, and you could tell he didn't like me. You could tell he didn't want me. And then I had the hernia surgery and I'm done for the year. And I was even because I was a Steeler, I was a Bietigheim guy. I even said, I'm like, I'll try and come back and play the relegation games after this hernia surgery because I don't want this team going down. And he's like, no, you don't need to. We're good. And I was like, oh, all right, cool. And then Hellbron offered me, and then I called him. I'm like, so this is what I got. And he's like, yeah, you better go. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And then that was that. They came and picked me up in the van, and then I never went back really. Weird.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not the only player who moved from Bietigheim to Heilbronn or from Heilbronn to Bietigheim.
I know.
It's just, I think if you like an area and those both teams are normally good names in the second league,
Yeah.
it's sounds easy just to move 40 kilometers, but I think it's not
It's
really, huh?
Well, not when you were like on the team for 4 years, you won the championship, and then like, you know, the budget goes down, and like they warned me, and they're like, our budget's going down, we're not going to be good, but you go through these few years with us, and then we're gonna get a budget back, and we're gonna be good again, and you know, you're one of us, and then that guy obviously becomes the coach and has different plans, and I guess that's hockey, but I don't know. It's tough for a guy like me. I guess maybe I'm a bit too loyal or wanted to be too loyal. And I mean, I had chances to leave earlier and I didn't because I wanted to be a Bietigheim Steeler. And then obviously things change. And then, but it's the path you take. And then like, I love my time in Heilbronn other than we didn't do good enough. And then, it's the only way I ended up in Cardiff and Denmark and one other stuff, right? Is because I did leave.
Yeah. And all those good memories you collect there, huh?
Oh yeah, there's some good ones. I got some written down here. So right when I first got to Bietigheim, actually, you sent me a picture right before this of when we won the Pokal with that new coach, and I had my hernia surgery and I was done for the year. And that was a weird championship, the only one I ever won when I didn't play the final game. But that's cool that your old man has that in his office, because your old man was one of my great buddies in Bietigheim. We always like, we hit it off right from the start. And that's the story, was when we went to that vineyard right at my start of my year, and the first year in Bietigheim, and we went to that vineyard and they showed us how they made wine and did all that stuff. And then we ended up having food and a bunch of bottles of wine, right? That's how, I think one of the first times I met him, and he showed up to give us a ride home, and I went over and gave him a hug and told him I loved playing here. Do you remember that night?
Yes, yes. Was awesome, in
It was.
Hohenhaslach.
Where?
Weingut Baumgärtner.
That's where it was. Yeah, it was cool to see how wine was made. And then, fun fact for the folks, that's where the Waltons got their engagement photos taken, right? We had the vineyards in the background. Real cute. Love is love, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember Volker Schoch? He was also there. He drive us home. He was later the GM a long time now.
Yeah.
in
What wasn't
Bietigheim.
it? Schnabel? Volker
No,
Schnabel.
no. Stapel was the GM 2009, and
That was but Brittig's buddy there helped build the team. Coma.
Yeah.
He was the one that gave me the name Kugelblitz.
Yeah.
Round
Also
lightning,
remember.
folks. Round lightning. That was a great
Yeah.
night. That was the same night that big sexy Justin Kelly's mom walked in on me taking a dump. I was in the Dammons toilet and not the Herons. I didn't know which was which yet.
Doesn't matter. I think it was also Deutschland Cup Pause and November break.
Is when we did that, you think?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it was like preseason, man. I don't know.
No. I think it was a little bit secret what we are doing.
Because we had so much fun.
Yeah, and alcohol wasn't so allowed in the dressing room.
No, that coach did not like alcohol. Yeah, shut down Monday Fundays pretty hard too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also can remember when we had a barbecue at my parents' place.
I have that
And
written down here too. It was well, it was your family, and then like
yeah,
the Schofsies that like made Bietigheim feel like home. I know they did that for Dougie, myself, and like when we first got there, like we were like a hockey family. When it was July, and we would all the other Germans that lived out of town would leave for the weekends, which makes sense because it's summertime.
yeah,
But we'd be in Bietigheim, and you guys would have us over for barbecues, and we'd all sit outside eating meat and having beers, and that's when teams become teams, right?
yeah. also those team was special, you know, with René and with Barry, with Victor, with Pascal.
You had a good
I played
group of
also,
young Germans, right?
yeah, and we also played 5 years before together, yeah? And then that we can all play pro in Bietigheim
Right.
and so successful. Awesome.
It is. It's a lot. Yeah, it's cool because I got written down here: Barry, Renee, Pascal, Ralphie Herbst, right?
Yeah, he
And
came later.
yeah, he came later, and Shrimpsy came later too. But you guys were all like
Yeah,
the same age group. And Sven Breiter. What about Willie Big? Willie Gross.
yeah, Willie Big still is here around. He's also playing here fourth league with me, the
Yeah.
second team. He quit last season or this season. Uh, yeah, because of Corona and because our trainer also said we suck, and until we suck, there's no beer in the dressing room. And I think that was a big reason that really said without beer,
Yeah,
it's not the
well, if
same.
if you're playing in the fourth league in Germany and you're not allowed to have beer, are you serious, buddy? Like, what do you think? How do you think you're gonna get better? There should be more beer. You should be recruiting guys and giving them free beer, and that's how you get some players in that league, right? You don't
That's
take it
right.
away.
And
Jeepers.
after we are not allowed, we lose, and we lost all games. So that's
And that's what happens.
totally wrong way.
That's what happens. Yeah. No, that is what happens. Okay, well, a couple more ways we know each other. Actually, those barbecues were great though, and it was great getting to know your parents. How are they doing? How's Huggy?
He's good. He's good. He's still working, and yeah, he's out of hockey more or less.
Yeah. Is he still wearing
Since
his hot leather pants there?
oh yeah, Chilana knows it. I don't-
Ah. Oh, 1 second.
and
Recording that whole time. I didn't hit pause.
brother, you
I
can
don't know how
cut
to
it out.
edit it. I don't know how to do that. Whoops. Be better, Walton, right? Anyways, that's great, right? Another way we know each other, though, other than your dad's hot leather pants, is Secret Santa. One of my favorite shirts I ever got. Man or machine.
Do you still have this shirt?
I wore it a few years ago in 2018. I wore it for Old Boys Reunion here in Kincardine, where you dress up. That was I wore the Man or Machine shirt with cut off sleeves and my gold helmet from Denmark. Yeah, ran amok that night too. Yeah. But yeah, yeah, fun time. So
did you need the backside too on that?
I don't think I needed it that night, but so folks, for Secret Santa in Bietigheim, it wasn't much of a secret. I found out Marcel had me, but I got a shirt that said "Man or Machine?" ? And then on the back it said, "If you can read this, please help me get home. Here's my address," and it was written upside down. In case I fell down, right? Sometimes your balance can be an issue when you're not used to German beers, right?
Oh yeah.
Good Secret Santa gift though, you know? Another way we know each other, you came and from Germany and stayed with us when we lived in Elmira for 2 weeks.
Yes.
With dein Frau, oder?
Yeah. Girlfriend at that time.
Right.
Lisa put the pressure on me. Was for the
to get married.
to get
propose.
married.
Yeah.
Propose at what is Kincardine Beach?
Kincardine, yeah. So that's where we live now, eh? That's where I am.
Yeah, I hear it.
So
near to the sea, or
yeah, well, Lake Huron's right here, just down the road, and then the cottage is like 5 minutes down the road where you would have been, right?
Oh, awesome place! I still have a picture of the lake here in our living room. Great time, man. It was special for us.
I hope you had fun, because it's hard. It's hard when people come over, right? And you're like, well, I don't know what to do as a tourist here. I know you guys did a bunch of stuff with Joanna too, right? Who is a girlfriend on the team and also was from my hometown, which is weird, right? Girlfriend on the team in Bietigheim, Germany, is from Elmira. That's weird, right?
Great. We also visited Dougie.
Yeah, we did go see Dougie and go to their cottage. Yeah. And we went tubing and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Geez, maybe also I am a good host. I'm trying to remember what all we did. I got another guy coming to Kincardine for 2 weeks in June this year, and it's the equipment manager from Cardiff, Dees, and I don't think Kincardine knows what's coming.
We also traveled to Detroit to
Lisa's parents. Dad. Jeez, we were all over the place, eh? I must not have had a job.
We had we went out with the boat, had a couple beers. Also, great place. We went to the golf in Detroit. I always tell this my golf buddies here, said there was a big shield, don't bring your own beer. And we first, what we did, we paid, and then we drove with the cars, not on the golf course. We drove to the parking lot and said, hey, what are we doing? And Lisa's dad opened the trunk and put 40 beers in the car.
Yeah, he knows how to golf. You know, in Michigan, the beers aren't as expensive as here, man. In Canada, you're gonna drink at a golf course, man. You got to at least bring a couple of your own to get by. Be too much money drinking just theirs. So yeah, you did have a good trip that day when you came over here.
Yeah. Also, we played a lot of golf. Couple days ago, I looked in my papers and I found all that stuff. Also, Green Bay golf course. I found the papers.
Bay. I didn't take you there, did I? I didn't take you there.
You did, and it was awesome with your dad.
Oh, you're talking about Georgian Bay Club.
Georgian Bay.
Yeah, Georgian Bay Club. That's a good course. Yeah. Do you know you're bringing back a memory because you never used to golf really, and I remember going in the Steelers golf tournament with you, and it was one of the funniest golf experiences I've ever had. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
It was a par 5, and we're playing a scramble. We got to use everybody's drive, so we use. I think it was your.
Yeah. Now I remember. It was a par 4.
Was it a par 4?
In Ludwigsburg, yes.
The way better story if it's a par 5, Marcy. Come on, be better. But yeah, we used a terrible drive and we had like a 3-wood into the green and I crush one and Marcy walks up ahead of the rest of the group because you just had to get going, right? And the 3 of us are way back behind and Roby and I are looking for his ball and whoever else was in our group. And Roby and I are like, so where's my ball, Marcy? You're up by the green. And you're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, where's the ball? And you're like, well, it's in the hole. And I'm like, what do you mean it's in the hole? And you're like, yeah, it's in the hole. And you're just like, isn't that what you're supposed to do in golf? Just put it in the hole?
I think that was the first time I really played golf, and
you thought it was normal. You thought it was normal to put it in from 225 yards out.
Yes, my only expectation in golf was like Happy Gilmore, when he said, "Oh, I think I should try to put it in the hole always by the first shot, then I don't have to putt."
Well, yeah, we didn't have to putt that hole. That was I still was like, how did he think that was normal? How did he think like that was, he didn't even like act like it was cool. Okay, that was fun though. And that was a great trip when you guys came over and it's fun. I'm really looking forward to when Dees comes over because when you do those trips, you have memories for life, right?
Yes.
Another way we know each other, raclettes.
Oh yeah, always.
Always
New Year's
raclettes.
Eve.
New Year's Eve, and then at your old house, right? You guys had a
Yeah,
couple get-togethers
Catherine's.
when you first moved in.
Yeah. Also. But New Year's Eve was always at Catherine's parents' house, right? In the big house in the Bergstraße,
That's right.
where you
Yeah.
can look all over Bietigheim.
Right up, but yeah, down from where my apartment was, but then you could look
Yeah, a
out
little
over
bit.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. That's when we had like 3 raclettes all lined up, and we had like 25 people there for New Year's, right? And
Yeah.
raclette, you can really run amok, eh? Like that's a long dinner party, and you're always like cooking, eating, drinking. What a time! And Bietigheim wonders how I got fat, right? You remember Heatley's garlic dip sauce stuff?
Oh yeah.
That was
Yeah.
lovely. You could put anything on it. Anything. You could eat
Yeah.
it with anything. God. Heater knew his way around beers and food, though, didn't he?
Heater is playing now with Manu in Duisburg.
Really? Did I know that?
Yeah. I don't know.
I've talked to both of them in the shed, though. They're both shed guys.
Yeah.
Are they good?
Um, Duisburg played last year fourth uh, fourth league, yeah, and
Yeah.
they came back because they had no money for the third league, and they said, "Hey, we have no money. Let's go down and rebuild everything." And then they won the fourth league easy, and now they played third league, and they said, "Okay, we don't know. We have a couple own guys, and we will see. No pressure." And they were the best team who went up. They are sixth place now and started playoffs now. And now they are playing against Weiden, where Ralf is playing.
Ralphie. He's a beauty, too. It's a small
Yeah,
world, man. Like that, like
it is.
all the young fellas that were coming into the league when I was getting out of it, they're all still playing. You know who just confirmed a shed trip? He told Bryce Reddick, who was just on a practice today, that Richard Gelke from Hellbron's going to come on, and he's a captain in the second league now. He was just a puppy in Hellbron.
He was my roommate in Frankfurt, Water.
And I saw you played with him there. That's why I brought him up. That team at Frankfurt you guys had was a squad, eh, for the third league?
Oh, yeah. And I came late, so it was almost already done. I think they didn't lost the game, 40 games. And Manu was hurt, and they called me and said, "Hey, do you want to play rest of the season in Frankfurt?" I said, "Yeah, why not?" With my brother. And then we went there, and Frankfurt also apartments are so expensive, yeah, like Munich or Hamburg. And then I slept 2 weeks in a hotel room, tried to search an apartment, and then they said, "Yeah, here we find an apartment." And I went there and said, "Oh man, it's so shitty." And the the guy before, he smoked inside and said, "Oh, I can't stay there." And Richard Gelke, he came a couple weeks earlier than me, and then he also said, "Hey, all those apartments they showed me, they are all shitty. Hey, let's move together, and then we can put
Get a
our
decent
budget
place.
together."
Yeah.
And then we found a nice place, and yeah, I had a
He's
good time.
he's a good dude, eh?
Yeah,
It's
really good.
small world in the shed.
Yeah, he's a big Papa Bear. Yeah, he's
Yeah, he's a big
so big,
softy.
but
Yeah.
yeah, yes, just he has a
And
good heart.
another guy on that team was your brother Manu, so you did get to play with him
Yeah, I played with him.
growing up, but then you also played with him in pro then, eh?
Yeah, just for this 3 months. Yeah,
So in
and
Frankfurt, though, that's at the end. So that's when you're asked to kindly leave Bietigheim too, the year after me.
yeah,
And you go do that. You start in Bietigheim in the fourth league. And then you
yes,
decide to join them for the playoffs. So you guys had to have won it that year, because I had it written down here that you had 12 players on that team with well over a point a game. some of them with like 3 points a game. So if you have 12 players with a point a game, you're scoring a lot of goals.
That's true.
Yeah.
But
So you won it? You moved up then,
yeah,
Frankfurt did?
Yeah, it's like, Frankfurt they went bankrupt in the DL, I think 2 or 3 years before, and they
Right.
also rebuilt it, and they have a big fan base and good sponsors, and for them it was easy to win the fourth league. I think Max Seiler played for them in the fourth league.
Silerama.
Yeah, and they also, I think, won every game with 10 goals different. And then they a little bit stuck in the Oberliga because just the champion was allowed to go up, and they always dominated the league. And 2 times they lost, I think, first against Bad Nauheim, and then maybe they just lost against Bad Nauheim, and then in the year I was there, it was allowed 2 teams to
Go
move up. Yeah, and we played it was not like normal playoffs that you have 3 series. It was like a tournament. Yeah, so you have to play against every team 2 times, and then the first 2 go up. And yeah, we won. And the last 3 games we didn't have to play because it was sure that nobody can reach second place, and we still lost first place against Kassel. Yeah? So it was lucky for Frankfurt that it was allowed that
2 teams go up.
Yeah. On the other side, if we played with full squad last 3 games, maybe we could win them also.
Okay, so Castle did beat you though at the end.
Yeah, Castle beat us, and I remember
they beat me too in the second league. They're a bunch of punks. Right? Okay, here's a question for you. Where and what are you doing now?
Yeah, after Frankfurt, or in my time in Frankfurt, I prepared for what I want to do after
And what is
hockey.
that?
Yeah. And
what is it? What are you doing?
Now I work in the company from my dad, family company.
Yeah.
We are building windows and doors, aluminium doors, high quality. And
how many people you got working?
We have around 12 people.
Yeah.
And
that's enough.
Yeah, it's enough. And we also have subunternehmers, just another companies. When we have big offers, or they help us, and yeah, so we are flexible.
I got
all
you.
The year. Yeah, when we have a lot to do in the summertime, then we can.
You can bring help. You get the workers, you get the laborers to come help them when you're busy.
Yeah, right. Laborers, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then in December.
What about kids? You guys got married? You have some kids now then?
Yeah, we have 2 kids. We have Mia, 7-year-old, and Nick, 5 years old.
Oh, does he put on skates yet? Some Schlitz shoes?
Yeah.
Does he have a Schlag shoes? Oh, really?
He hates hockey. When he was 3 and you ask him, hey, what you want to do when you grow up? He said, I want to be a cow.
A cow?
Yes, a cow. Because my dad always went to him to a farm in Hohenhachlach, and he liked cows so much.
I like eating them.
So later he said he wants to be a farmer and drives with the bulldog, the tractor.
Yeah.
And now he wants to be a dancer.
A dancer?
A dancer, yeah.
You know what? In hockey, I was once a cow and I've been a dancer, right? So you can do that and play hockey. You can do it all, folks. Do it all, right? Remember the year my knee got hurt and I just laid around like drinking wine, eating pizza, and I had mold growing on my toes. And we couldn't really bathe me because my feet were ticklish. So Lisa would try and get the mold off my toes, but my feet were too ticklish. It was gonna screw up my knee. So like there was like mold growing on my feet, and I was fat.
Oh man.
Yeah, good memories, eh?
Oh
And then you
man.
remember what Brittig did to me to shed the pounds, the bike in the sauna.
Yeah.
You were a pretty good 400-meter runner though. I'll give you that. You got some high
Oh
stepping in you. You could really work hard. You know that?
yeah. Yes. You know when I started 2007, 2008, I worked at Porsche, and I started at 6, and then I drove to the ice rink at 9 o'clock, practice with the team. Drove at 11 back to Porsche and worked until 9 o'clock. And I also played with the juniors in the second team in Stuttgart. And I don't know, in December time,
Did you work for Porsche the whole time you were pro?
no, just that year was the last year of my apprenticeship.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, the Steelers they had Brittiger as a coach, and they were 7th, 8th place, and they had a couple D's that didn't rim it out. Brittig doesn't like that.
You can't make passes. You have to rim it. You have to.
Yeah,
No
in
more
December
passing.
time, I played in Stuttgart, and it was not sure where I should be. Should I be in Bietigheim, or should I be in Stuttgart playing for them? And I decided to play in Stuttgart. And then next week, Pritik said, "Where were you?" And I said, "Oh, I was in Stuttgart." And, yeah. Who is paying you? He asked me. And I said, Porsche is paying me. Then he said, no, in ice hockey. And I said, those couple bucks are coming from Bietigheim. Then he said, okay, you stay now here and you play every game and you don't go to Stuttgart. And I said, okay, sounds good. And then that started when I make every game. Then
you work hard
since
and you rimmed it out, and
January.
you did what Brittig wanted, and then the next year when we won the championship, you were a top 4 defenseman and you played a ton. You had Robitaille, right?
Yeah,
You were
I
only
played a
19
lot.
then.
I was 19. I played a lot. I also remember when we had a barbecue at my parents' place, and we talked little bit about the season, so what will happen. And then Ducky and you said, yeah, the lines will be you and Seri and Justin and Ducky and Gaipi first line, and then Schmitty and who was also Jasper, and
Casper and
Flo,
and Andre Kaufman.
Flo, yeah, André Kaufmann, second line, and Robbie and Marcy, second line. I said, what? Second line? No way. Then Dougie said, yeah, I talked with Britke. I said, hey, no chance. And I played whole
The whole
season
season,
second
second
line,
line. Yeah.
just 5-5, 4-4, and PP.
Er,
Not
er,
PP, Piki.
the Unterzahl. The Unterzahl. I was an
and
Uberzahl guy.
Robbie
But I
said
guess
always, Robbie said always, hey Marcy, you go in the corner, and if you have the puck, pass it to me.
Roby was a great player, man. He was awesome. What a great dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a great guy for you to play with, though. He was like 41 years old that had been in the DL his whole career, and man, that guy could play. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Also, I remember when we went to a sponsorship evening, and it was me and Robbie there, and they interviewed us, and they said, oh yeah, so how long do you play hockey? And I said, oh, I'm playing now 15 years hockey. So I started when I was 5 years old. And then they asked Robbie, how long do you play now hockey? And he said, yeah, I play 15 years now pro hockey.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
said, okay, that's a little bit different.
And he was still an Auslander getting jobs, right? Like, and he was still like a high end import in his 40s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
A
impressive
great
stuff.
guy.
Do you
Great
know
guy.
what though? I had a great memory now of your old man, and when I first got to Bietigheim, and I was so confused what was going on. Whoever was the president before, however was working, there was a vote one night, and Brittig and Coma tell the team, we're going to this fan vote to vote for the next president. And we roll in the whole team with our jackets and shoes on. And then they go to have this vote. And then all of a sudden, when it was your old man's turn, the whole team puts their arms up saying, we vote for Huggy. And then all the fans that weren't voting for him all lost their mind. And they're like, they don't get that many votes. They don't get 20 votes because they showed up. And then I think the argument went on for so long that they ended up deciding our team only got one vote as a whole team. But then your dad still won anyways. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was a big change in Bietigheim. Like this year also, they have a big change. But yeah, it was the beginning of a big area for my dad. He was 10-year president.
Yeah.
And yeah, he had, he
A
had
couple
good and
championships.
hard years.
Yeah.
Couple championship years.
Couple hard years when the budget went down, but that wasn't because of his fault. That was because Porsche almost went tits up, right?
Yeah. Political, it's always
sponsors are a
harsh
big
and-
deal in Germany, aren't they?
Oh yeah, yeah.
You need some geld money, folks,
Oh,
to win.
yeah.
Yeah. That's why the same teams are at the top and the same teams are at the bottom every year, except if they get better sponsors, right?
That's always a problem because they sometimes they ask the imports if they want to play, but they get no money.
Yeah.
And most times they said, "No, I don't do that."
No.
I think you were there too, or when Dome O'Shea came
for like
for
a tryout. Yeah, and he was
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
And he was like 10 years after he was top defenseman in the second league. And I think Brittig said, hey, yeah, you're good and you can play for us, but we don't have money for you. So if you want to stay, you can play for us.
Play for free.
For nothing. Yeah, play for free. And he just jumped in the dressing room and put his stuff together and said, I'm out here right away.
So they brought him in for a tryout and then told him they had no money to pay him. That's hockey. Good stuff. Do you remember when that Barney came in, who like had played in the NHL and came in for a tryout?
Short stick.
And then Brittig didn't like that he used a short stick, so he couldn't make the team because he said his stick's too short. He's cut. And then that guy, instead of making the Bietigheim Steelers, went to the Finnish Elite League. It's all about people liking you. You need the coaches to like you, folks, even if you use a short stick, right? Another thing I got written down, though, is that team you're on now in the fourth league. It says a kid named Justin Held is on the team. Would that be Danny Held's son then?
Yes.
That was sad that he passed away because he was a beauty. I was just talking to Craig Teeple there 2 days ago, and he was telling me about how much I was I heard that Danny's bar was a pretty fun time. Sounds like my type of place.
Oh yeah, well you would loved it.
It would have been like my Mimos, eh?
Yeah. Special place, and also with Danny's wife. She's still here around, and it was a nice bar, awesome place.
Yeah,
we went there almost every week. Also, all the juniors, and
there's some great restaurants at Bietigheim, I tell you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Manfred, the meat guy, still around?
Yeah. Just 1 minute. Sorry.
I might actually pause it this time.
This meeting is being recorded.
Game back on. Hi, was ist dein Name? Ich spreche in English. Mein Deutsch ist nicht so gut, oder? Mia, nice to meet you. Sprechen Sie ein bisschen English?
Yes.
You do? Really? Well, nice to meet you.
Just a little bit. She can say.
Do you
My
spiel in
name-
ice hockey?
No.
No? No chance? Keine Chance or Oda?
She likes riding horses
Oh, that's fun.
and also she's a Turner. Don't know,
Uh-huh.
gymnastics.
Gymnastics, yeah. That's always
Yeah.
right into gymnastics too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're 7 Jahres alt?
Yes.
Yeah. Meine Tochter is 8.
Okay. How old is Kobe? He's born 12?
Yeah. December. So he's so he's 10, right?
Du hast doch das Paper.
11.
11.
Maybe. No, yeah.
No.
Should be. No,
Eh.
12.
Mm.
I can remember, when Lisa was in the hospital in Heilbronn.
I think he's
We-
10. My math brain's not working right now, but yeah, we had the baby in Heilbronn, right?
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, quite the time having a baby in
rough
Germany.
days, man.
Well, it seems like forever ago, but then I guess it was only a few years later you guys were having them, eh?
Yeah. 15. Yes, born 15.
Yeah, same as Zoe. Yeah. She's a February birthday.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, me at June.
I still can't believe I didn't pause it that first time. That stinks, eh? I'm gonna have to get an editing team or something. Okay, here's the question then. So how did you get into hockey for you, Marcy?
How I get in?
Here,
I
he
think it
wants
was-
here, Colby. Hold on. Here's
Oh.
Colby.
Hi, Kobe.
Hi.
Hi, Kobe. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
Just talked about you. I think I was one of the first visitors in the hospital when you was born in Heilbronn. I think you can't remember.
No.
And now you're 10 years old,
Yeah.
done with school for today.
We are on March break right now.
Or March break. How long is March break? 1 week?
1 week, yeah.
And then you're allowed to go back to school on Monday.
Yeah.
You're happy. School's back. Homeworks.
No,
Is the hockey season still running?
no, we got put out.
So summer workout starts soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a friend over, so I'm gonna go play with him.
Okay. Have
Okay.
a good time.
Okay, bye.
Nice to meet you.
Isn't this cool? I'm so happy I started this and now all this stuff could happen. Hey,
Yeah. I also.
I haven't seen you since 2013, Marcel.
Papa, ich war heute bei der Caro.
Cool. Yeah.
Was
it's
ist
true.
los?
She's sleeping at Caro's place today.
Oh,
Her aunt, Catherine's little sister. I don't know if you can remember her. She
yeah.
babysit Archie and
yeah, I remember.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. That'll be fun. What's a sleepover? Schlaf Abend? Schlafnacht? What's a sleepover?
Yeah. Übernachten.
Übernachten. Yeah, genau.
Yeah.
Übernachtens are fun too, even with the fellows, right? I remember going to Dresden having Übernachten with Hammer.
Who's here too? Komm mal rein. Auf.
Now who's here? Oh, it's Katrin. Hi.
Hallo.
Wie geht's heute?
Gut.
Ja? Mein Deutsch ist super. Ja, ich vergessen alles.
Immer noch sehr gut.
Yeah, Dankeschön.
Better than the most imports.
Yeah.
And better than my English at the beginning.
You're doing pretty good. Do you still use it at all?
No, I went better when PJ stayed here in the summertime. He
Yeah.
was like my brother.
Yeah.
Every
that's-
day we were together, and
Yeah.
his German is also not so good, so my English was a little bit better. So we talked the most time English.
That's embarrassing, Fenton. Be better. Guy's scared of the shed too. Thinks his big fancy NHL job's too important to talk to me in my shed, you know?
He's very serious, Waldo.
Isn't he very serious? It doesn't hurt at all, PJ. No worries. Why don't you stay with Kevin and win a championship the next year? It won't even upset me, right?
He's not coming to René's game. That's also very sad.
Really? He's not coming.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
NHL job's really jamming up your life, PJ. Just give it up, you know? Can't even go to René's game. You know what, though? I can't go. That's embarrassing. I should be going.
he wanted to stay in my house, and I also put a day of vacation in. But yeah, now I don't need it. But he came back with Steph and Emery a couple years ago, I think.
Oh, he
2 years ago.
didn't he come out of retirement and play playoffs or something?
No, he played after Bietigheim. I think he went to Landshut. Yeah, and Emery was born in Landshut.
Right.
Oh no. Carrie says no, it's not true. Heilbronn. He played Heilbronn. Then he went to Landshut.
Really?
And then he went to.
We'd know all this if he'd just come to the shed. He's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Let's not even
And then he
talk
went
about
to
him anymore.
Denmark, and I think from Denmark he went home and then back to Bietigheim.
Really? He
Then
went to
won another
Denmark too?
championship.
I don't remember any of this
I think
happening.
so.
Katrin, how are you doing?
Good.
Yeah? What are you doing these days other than being a mother?
Taxes, a lot of taxes.
Taxes. That'd be that time of year, eh?
Yeah.
It's busy time.
Oh, there's a story, Waldo.
Oh boy.
I don't know. Do you know the?
Mama.
I think you went to the tax guy here too, or
Oh
to
yeah.
Andy Weil?
Get out. Yep. He always helped me out. You get like a month's pay for
Yeah.
the taxes over there.
And that's Catherine's.
That's my boss.
So you work there now? Same place by the
Yeah.
river there?
Yeah.
No,
No,
not anymore.
They changed.
Was it by the
There's a
Lidl,
new
right? Lidl.
There's a new building by the parking lots down near houses where the little stones were. There's a new building.
Well,
We're
okay.
in there now.
Right
Right.
beside Silo's place.
Yeah, right beside.
Oh, we're
Simon's
all-
place and beside
Oh.
the tunnel where he found you. Yeah.
You mean by all the dog shies?
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah, the one piece of grass in Bietigheim where dogs can poo and everybody just lets their dog poo and nobody picks it up. It's disgusting. Beckham wouldn't even go in there. Is it still just a big pile of dog poo in that there?
No. It's
No.
they built a really nice house there with
So now there's no
Little
grass for
puppy.
dogs to poo.
yeah, no more grass in Bietigheim for dogs.
And yeah, I might have been having a hard time getting home from the parade, right?
Yeah, well, can you remember this? Because
Well, that's the problem, was you're the one that told me about it.
he told us maybe 1 or 2 years later. He said,
You're
"Yeah,
telling me it was the tax guy that found me?
Yeah, yeah." And he said, "Oh, I think he didn't know me at that time."
No, I didn't know anybody at that time. Winning got away from me. That the second day could get away from you. That was, well, you know what? Whatever. I don't care what people think. I'm going to tell this because I had a tough time, right? I didn't know there was a parade. I'd cut off jeans on and we were in a parade with my dog. It was a great time, right? Got away from me. But someone did get me pizza to help sober me up, right? So I could make it longer. And I didn't quite get to eating the pizza because I woke up on my couch with the pizza like cheese down on my chest, and I was naked, and there was a full pizza on my chest. But my dog was,
That's why,
but Beckham was beside me. I didn't lose him that day. He made it home safe.
that's why you got the t-shirt from Marcy.
Ja, habe ich schon erzählt.
Man or machine. Yeah. That day I was a man, not a machine.
Yeah, great time,
yeah,
Walter,
that,
but
great
that's
time. Yeah,
also
that's all part of the
special.
history, though. You know, I felt really
Yeah.
stupid for a while. I felt really bad at how it got away from me that night. But you know what? Winning's fun, and it got away from me. Part of the history, right?
Yeah, and good memories, just nobody get damaged.
No.
Just
And
Just good memories.
you know what's cool about this is I started it, and then I have that website, aleshockeytales.com, and a fella from Bietigheim sent me pictures of our day of the parade, and he sent me a picture of I'm thinking it's his daughter, but I got my arm around a little girl, and you can see Beckham standing behind me, and it was just like, oh man, I haven't seen a picture of Beckham in forever. And this guy randomly sends me this stuff, and it just takes you right back, you know?
Yeah.
Great time. But my eyes were a little bit, I had a bit of the walleye going, you know? My eyes weren't quite working right in that picture. I was tired, you know?
Yeah. Was a short night.
I didn't last long, right? Well, it was a long day though, right? It was a long day,
Yeah.
not a
Yeah.
long night. It didn't last long for me. Wish it would have lasted longer. If I could do it again, I probably wouldn't have got as carried away, but I didn't know there was a parade, right? And I'd cut off jeans. So what are you gonna do? Right? What are you gonna do? Can't change the past now, right?
Why should we? Why should we?
Right. Oh gosh, it was fun. Katrin, we were talking about your trip over to Canada. What was your favorite part of it? Because you know where we live now. We're in Kincardine, where you came to the cottage. That's where we live now. We decided after hockey that it was like, why live there and then try and come here on weekends? Why don't we just live here? And then that's what we did. So now we live
How
here.
far you are from the cottage?
Like I could bike there, walk there. It's like
Okay.
not even a 5-minute drive. Yeah. It's
that's
2
one
roads
of my
over.
That's one of my favorite spots.
Yeah, I like it too. Yeah.
I
It's
love it. It's like no salt water and like white like a sea.
Yeah, and the
Awesome.
beaches are good. Yeah. Don't tell anybody about it though, okay? Kincardine's big enough. we don't need any more tourists here, folks. Don't listen to us talk about it, right? Okay, let's see here. When you were good though, growing up in Bietigheim, then you did make Team Deutschland. Eh? That would have been a big day, eh? Making Team Germany or what?
I say goodbye.
Okay.
Have fun.
Hey, guten Nacht. Nice seeing you. Right?
Gute Nacht.
What's good to see you again? Schön to sehen.
Schön dich gesehen zu haben.
Schön gut to sehen du haben. What?
Ha.
Schön
Schön
dich
dich
gesehen
gesehen is to see you. Yeah.
zu haben.
Zu haben. That's now. Haben. To haben. I thought now. Nacht. It's night. Huh?
Gute Nacht.
Okay.
Say hi to Lisa.
I will. Nice seeing you. Good looking
Bye.
kid you made there. Keep up the good work. Okay. So anyways, making Team Germany though. Couple guys on that team that I know. I might have been on Lancet with me then. Dominic Quinlan. I saw him lose his teeth in a rebound game one practice. That was funny, but not for him. Goalie, you know, puts a stick out. Guy tries to pass the cross, deflects up,
Okay.
loses his teeth right in practice. That's a tough morning, right? Losing your teeth at practice. and the other guy on that team I knew was Dashy, Stefan Dashner. I think he's still playing too.
Yeah, he's playing in Straubing.
Oh, right. I knew that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of those fellas on. So where did you guys play for Team Germany? Where's this tournament?
It was how do you say it? Like the tournament before the U18 championship preparing tournament. I
Okay.
think in Bratislava.
Bratislava.
Wasn't this special? I think I was in the hotel room with Corbinian Holzer, who played for Anaheim and now in
Oh
Mannheim.
yeah. Big D man, left-handed shot,
Yeah.
right? Didn't he
Yeah.
play for the Leafs for a bit, maybe? I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think so.
Mm.
He was always in the up and down AHL. And yeah, it was special. I got the invite when we played in Berlin. The coach came, said, "Hey, you played good, and we want to see you in the national team." And for me, it was pretty special, you know. And always was, you know, a little bit shy guy, and I thought, yeah, you go to the national team, and everything is special. You're representing your country, and then I drove per train to Munich, and then there was a bus, and I went into the bus, and all I saw was all those buddies I knew before, and those, you know,
Well, yeah, you get on a
crazy
team with
people.
all
And
the
all
guys
they
are your
made-
age, hockey guys, right? So you probably knew a
Yeah.
bunch of them, right?
yeah, a lot of them, and it was just hockey, yeah. But yeah.
So then that was just before you turned pro, but you had a hell of a core of Bietigheim guys. Eh? I already brought it up as Barry, Renee, Pascal, Ralphie, Shripsey. But then the guy that was a leading scorer on like the under 18 team that I also know, Sven Breiter, eh? He was the leading scorer on that team.
Yeah, but
Is he not the
think he
little
would be-
fella? He was the little guy, number 20, left-handed shot, right? That was always hanging around.
no, that was his little brother Søren. Is this?
Søren, gosh.
Yeah,
I had the wrong Breiter.
yeah.
Hmm,
They have two,
that makes
and
sense.
yeah, we had a good youth team also because Milan Lipsch, his dad, Uli Lipsch, he was a DL player, he was national player, and he came also at the end of the career to Bietigheim, and I think he played with Danny Herd and Greg Teeple. He was the captain of that team. Yeah, I think so.
And he coached you guys.
And then yes, he started. He ended here his career, and he started to coach us. And for us, it was
Coaching is
another-
important. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we also had a good group of guys, all friends. We played all day hockey outside. You know, met us at the weekend. Then René came from Esslingen, and Ralf came from Esslingen, and yeah, it was
Ralphie.
special. They also slept also always at our parents' places with us, and you know, we were like brothers. Yeah,
Yeah.
growing up together, had success together, had fun together. When
Yeah.
we had our weekend trips in a little bit higher leagues, we always played in Bavaria, and we always slept there Saturday, Sunday. It was always fun.
Boys running amok, having fun. Yeah, that would be fun. It's cool
Yeah.
that you guys all made pro together then too, really. You know?
Yeah, I think we pushed each other, you know, always. And we
I
had
do know.
fun.
I do know.
Yeah.
Bunch of guys that I grew up with in this tiny town in Canada. There was 5 guys that went places in hockey, a team of 15, and we were all the same age from Elmira, Ontario. And I think it's because you grow up together and you're having fun and pushing each other and competing, and not just in hockey, but in everything you're doing, like all day, right? I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know Robert Kratzer?
Yeah,
buddy
he
of Dirk.
worked at Ortima. He helped with my knee. He got help get me
Yeah.
my brace, right?
Yeah, he also played with Greg Teeble and
Yeah.
all those little bit older guys. And he coached us in the 4th league. And he also said he read a book. There's no talent in sports or something. And the guy who wrote the book, he said everything matters if you have success in sports or not. Yeah. So it matters what friends you have. Yeah,
All of
said-
that matters. Yeah.
he was a table tennis player, and he said he had also in his street where he lived in Great Britain a couple friends, and they played every time they played table tennis. Then in the school they had a teacher. He was a successful table tennis player, and he made a lesson in the school every day where they can play table tennis. And so his whole life was from the age of 8 table tennis, and that made him a great table tennis player. But he said if he wouldn't leave in that city, if he wouldn't leave, wouldn't had this teacher, it wouldn't be happen. So
Yeah, no, it's true.
That's-
And it's interesting. I think, and it's like the kids coaching nowadays. So I'm into coaching, and I think who their coach is, how the season goes, how much fun they have showing up and being a hockey person matters. And how much fun they have at this age will really depend how into hockey they are and their friends, right? And I'm coaching Zoe's team this year, and like my whole goal is that they all love hockey and they want to keep playing hockey, right? And a lot of it depends how much fun it is each time you show up, right?
yeah.
And
We
then
also had a couple
once they love it though, right? Then you start competing, and then it's like, well, I want to be better than you, and you know, and then you're always trying to be the top kid on the team, but like you compete with each other, and they're your buddies, they're your brothers, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We also had a couple of good players in our teams when we were 14, 15, 16. And when it looked like their parents want to play, that they play hockey. And then
Right.
when they're 14 and 15 and they're
There's
finished
so
with
many other
school and
things to do.
they have to start with work. And then there's one day they said, no, I don't want to play hockey anymore. But they still were good, but they said, no, I don't, it makes no fun anymore. And then, yeah, that's most thing.
Well,
has
and
to be
it's
fun.
this exactly, and it's the same I've seen around here though. Is I mean, everybody's different. You can all parent do it differently, but a lot of people make their kid make them do 100 shots a day or 200 shots a day, and it's like, well, that's not their choice. When it's their choice to do it, that's when they're going to get better. When they're
Yeah.
going to go out and do it for themselves, not for you, that's when they're going to get good. So I don't know. I've never told my kids to ever shoot a puck. But they seem to like Colby is doing it all the time. Right. And it's like, well, that's
Yeah.
because he wants to do it,
Yeah. It's also if you show them, if you just
Papa,
make.
das morgen.
Oh, yeah. Mach's gut.
Okay. Schlaf gut, Maya.
It's just, when you just play for yourself a little bit, and then they say, hey, what are you doing there? And they take the stick and just make it for themselves. I think that's better the way if you say, hey, take the stick. And
Yeah.
you have to do stick handling now.
Yeah.
That's not good.
I totally agree. So after that though, you're playing for the Stuttgart Rebels, the Steelers, and under 20 all 1 year, and working at Porsche. That would have been a busy year, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you end up running into Landsuit in the first round with Hammer, Geipe, Waldo. What a team, right? Brandon Dietrich, the reason I wore number 10, that wasn't even wearing number 10 when I got there. It was so confusing. You imagine wearing number 10 for the guy you grew up idolizing, and then he's the guy that brings you over to Germany, and you're thinking, geez, I'm not going to take 10 from him. And he's wearing 39 anyways. And you're like, so I'm going to be number 10 and I'm going to be playing with Brandon Dietrich? That doesn't make sense. Fun times.
Yeah,
So,
Landshut was a good team, yeah.
yeah.
But also not that good money, yeah. They had a
No.
good team, and then next year
It was
every
all
player
it was yeah. Well, I don't know what the financial situation was, but they were late paying us going into the playoffs. We were like a week out from starting the playoffs, and we hadn't been paid in a couple months, and all the players were like, what do we do? We're going into playoffs here. And then they did end up paying up right when playoffs were starting. And then we did well and went to the finals and almost won it, right? So, but yeah, they didn't have the money to keep us around after we did well and went to the finals, right? They won. And then what was funny was I heard the fans were chanting that Hammer, Geipe, and Waldo we're just leaving for the money, that we were just chasing the money. And it's like, well, your team actually doesn't have any. So it's kind of hard to sign for a team that doesn't have any money, you know? When you're like 23 years old, just getting into pro, you don't really want to play for free, right? But I loved playing in Landshut. The guys of that team were just dandies, you know? So anyways, after that year, I do come to Bietigheim. And I guess it's your second year with Brittig. So I'm assuming you did it the July the year before. But that July, those runs and workouts, I had never been I've been part of some crazy workouts in college, but this took the cake, you know? Yeah. Tough. It was a tough July.
It was.
Yeah. People wonder why I got after it on weekends. Well, that's because I hated the week that much, right?
I listened a couple times all the podcasts when you talk to,
and I keep complaining about it. Sorry if it gets repetitive. Maybe
No,
I should move on,
no.
you know?
I always feel you. You were scared to go to bed because, you know,
When you
next
wake
day-
up, you have to go there. Yeah.
I know. It was terrible. But I also think in the first year we started this too. I think we started in July, and it was like my last day by Porsche, and I made my test there as an electrician. And
Electrician,
after this,
eh? That's what you
yeah,
are?
and, yeah, that was what I learned by Porsche. And then I went there to practice next day, and I had to run the 400 meters and the test, you know, 400 meters,
Yeah.
5-minute break, 400 meters again. And
Wasn't the test to start the first year, wasn't it? You had to run 400 meters in 60 seconds.
No, it was like you have to run it as fast as you can, then 5-minute breaks,
And then do it again.
and then do it again.
And then
it
that was
should
supposed
be
to
like,
see your recovery. They're supposed to be like the same. We're supposed to be
Yeah.
both within like 60
It should-
seconds.
Yeah, shouldn't be a bigger break or different than 10 seconds. I think.
I remember. I remember that second time. The first time you go as fast as you can. It's like, geez, you know what? I should have slowed down about 3 seconds and I would have had more juice for the next round.
And I went there alone with Jochen Neff.
Jochen!
And I run with him, I don't know, 70 seconds. Yeah, I wasn't that fast. Next time again, 72 seconds. And then I puked all over the court. And then we went back to Balkult, where all the team was, and lifting weights.
Yeah.
And then he asked Jochen, and how was it? And he said, 70 seconds average, but he puked all over. And that's what Brittig liked. Yeah? He said, everything he wants to see is that you go 100%. And that's what I tried to do. Yeah. And
you went 100% in everything we did. Yeah. Yeah. You did 100% every time. Hey, wasn't your nickname Biza? Isn't that mean biter?
Yes.
Because you were always grinding your teeth and just giving her.
Yeah.
Okay, but you know what though? The 400 meters wasn't the only stupid thing we did. We were doing like max, like shoulder press, like lifting with our shoulders as heavy as we could go. We were doing cleans, we were doing squats, and like I thought my asshole was gonna drop out right there in bulk cool, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Every Tuesday, man, it was horror. Every Tuesday.
Every
And
Tuesday during the season, but July it was
yes,
Monday to
yeah.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Huh.
In the season, in the second season, I always hoped, man, please let playoffs start soon, that we cannot practice this much anymore.
If we would
But
have
on the
been
other
smart, if we would have been smarter, I think we wouldn't have done Monday Fun Day. We would have actually like taken care of ourselves, drank water, and got ready for those crazy Tuesday practices with the workout, the bag skate. Tuesdays were awful. And then after we would have done that, we should have gone home, had a nap, and then had Tuesday booze day or something, because then the whole workout would have been over. We could have gone, had fun, and then the rest of the practice, the rest of the week were so easy.
Yeah, man.
But
Yeah,
Tuesday
yeah.
was a nightmare.
Nightmare. And all those, I think you had all this snorkel you had on your podcast.
Oh, the
And
snorkels.
I think in the beginning it was also a little bit different, you know. Every workout was always hard, but a little bit different. But at the end, it was just
400 meters.
400 meters every day, 400 meters.
It wasn't that bad at
And
the start when we would do like shuttle runs. We would do like lifting weights that weren't crazy. We do stations, and then you'd play even a game of soccer and make it somewhat fun.
Yeah, also, yeah.
But no, then it became just 400 meters.
Do you remember those potato bags, those big ones?
Yeah.
They were
yeah.
like 50 or 60 kilograms. And you have to carry them
around
20 meters. Man, everything hurt. Or
everything hurt. Everything hurt. Do you remember the running in the sand at ball courts at like the beach volleyball places?
I remember it because Ducky said I had to run against Ducky. And Ducky said, Marcy, if you are faster than me, I punch you in the face.
You got to let the young guys know that if you're going to embarrass us, that's unacceptable.
I said, okay, Ducky. No
Oh
problem.
my gosh, those workouts give me nightmares. But speaking of ball cool, do you know what I loved about it was when we go to practice, and I think this is after Bietigheim when we were actually like enjoying life and fun again. But like the first year was awesome. We had the best group of guys you could ever have. And you know what? He made it really hard, the workouts and everything, but all of us kind of made it fun, right? And we all laughed about it. But we were as a team gets away from the rink. And we all were a team in the room. And then the other years, after, when we had no budget and we weren't doing as well with him as the coach, he had a hard time when he didn't have the players that could get it done. And when he finally left and Danny Held came in, and then we were allowed to like actually have fun and play hockey again. Do you remember when we turned it around and went from like last place to like make the pre-playoffs? That was fun. And then we go to ball cooled after practice and have a mini golf competition to see who paid for lunch. So our day of work was go have a practice that was fun because we had a good coach. And then we would go to ball cooled and play mini golf to see who paid for lunch. Those were fun days.
Yeah, and I think also that so many guys lived in the Konrad-Rotenburger Straße.
Yeah,
was
that
very
helps.
special.
Yes,
very pretty cool for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because now, last week it was the last home game of the Bietigheim Steelers, and one player took me to a bar in Klein Sachsenheim, yeah, where an import was. He had his special little bar there, and he was sitting there inside with a T-shirt with the name of the bar. And it was like, it's cool, yeah. If you come here, you find your places, you find
your honey hole
spots.
Yeah.
And all those people like it, when you say, hey, I'm a hockey player, if you have a good behavior there and you talk just,
You can
cancel borders.
you can become friends for life with the restaurant owners and like the bar owners
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
And this, you had this all here in one spot, and
Yeah.
now all the imports
They're all
are
spread out.
leaving, spread out, and it doesn't help. Yeah. I think
No,
it doesn't
having
help.
a team in the same area, the same place, it makes you a tighter community, a tighter family, a tighter team, right?
Yeah.
I loved it. First year was always going over to Schmitty's place, and he would have everybody over. He was the old wily vet that knew how to bring teams together. And Hammer was doing the Schweinebraten then, and like there was always team stuff going on, and we were a team. There wasn't Germans and imports. We were a team. And then what was the saddest part for me was by the end of my time at Bietigheim there, when we were struggling, there was like a divide between the imports and the Germans. And it was weird because like you, Renee, Ralphie, those guys, it wasn't like that, but like it was for some people, right? And it was weird because we had been through it together and been such a family. And then when we start losing and you see it separating and you're like, this is not hockey. This isn't, and it was very hard, you know?
Yeah, it was, for me, it was terrible because I thought it couldn't be better to have Danny Held as a coach.
And yeah, you're right. If we
And-
could just win and
and-
be good, but then the team
Yeah,
he signed
playing-
wasn't good enough. We weren't good enough.
Yeah.
We didn't have good enough players to win.
Just, it's like 5% different that makes a change. for
It's
the whole
not
season.
much, but you need guys that know what it takes and are team
Yeah.
players and bring the right culture. I actually, now that I don't hate Bietigheim as much as I did for a while. And I'm getting over things. I have like when I was having Renee on, I checked out some YouTube video or like highlights of the season that we were line mates. And that was the year we were brutal. And you saw some of the mistakes our team would make in games. You'd see some of the effort in these highlights. And I'm like, I can't believe as a leader of that team, I wasn't losing my mind on people, but I was the type of guy at that age, I wouldn't get in a guy's face and I wouldn't say something to them. That happened later on in my career when I realized that like, if you let stuff slide and you let it be that way, that's the way it is. And it was tough for me because that year I wasn't the leader we needed on that team, but when you see how brutal we were in some of those highlights, it's like, no wonder we lost so many games. Seriously.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
too bad, man.
it is. Yeah. Well, losing sucks. Winning's fun, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty much how it goes. Okay. I got some other fun stuff to talk about here. Okay. Let's see here. Basins, the Basin in Bietigheim. What a spot. You been there lately? What time of year is that place open? It was only a couple months at a time, right? And it was the best restaurant in town.
Yeah. It's a also funny story. The basin owner,
He probably doesn't like me anymore.
no, yeah, he tried to get to become the mayor of Bietigheim.
Oh, really? Well, he should be.
Yeah.
His Schweinhalles is the best thing I've ate in Germany. The pig neck, folks.
I also remember when we had the Kabinenfest there, and we had a great night.
Well, and that's why I said that he probably doesn't like me anymore because it was my Kabina Fest, and I know what you're talking about.
And after that, we went to Silo's place, and I think Silo's wife has her 30th birthday the next day, and just 30 drunken hockey players are coming in 11:30, and she said, "Hey, what you doing?" And,
Well, and
Silos just said, "Oh, we have a couple beers here more."
That's when we got
Silo-
into the moonshine. That's when we got into it. Yeah, that was a tough morning. We practiced the next day too. I remember. Yeah, I remember that one.
I think so. I don't know.
But I
it was
remember it because the Basin was my favorite restaurant when it was open, right? So folks, the Basin is all the local farmers making a restaurant for a couple months a year when all their stuff is ready, right? And you'd go there and it's this old cool little tiny restaurant with cool tables. And we go there for our team party and it's my Kabina Fest. So me and another fella split the bill for everybody to eat and drink. And it was my favorite restaurant. I went there all the time and ran amok. And then we have our team party. And we get into one, and then Andre Kaufman, our Kazakhstanian German, decides to show us he can do Russian knives around his hand on the table, and used a real knife and used his real hand on the table and put holes all in their nice wooden table, and then did it as fast as you could possibly can, missed all his fingers, but did put holes in the table, right? Yeah. And then
Also
the Basin's
impressive.
like, who are these people? What is going on? It's like, yeah, sorry. I'm like, I'm the one that made the reservations. I'm the one that's paying for it. And sorry about your table. What a time.
I think those holes are still in the table.
I think so. But that builds character, folks. That's a story. If you ever go to the Basin, look for the table with the holes in it from the Russian knives, right?
A story about Andre Kaufmann. He stayed in Bietigheim.
And he
with
was
his
playing
family.
with you on the fourth league.
Yeah, man. He played with me and with Dirk. Awesome. Was an awesome season. And also, he finished, yeah, I think 5 years ago. And now we have a new coach who also played with us and a little bit second league. He came later when you didn't play, Marco Windisch. And he said, hey, he looked for new players for next season. And then he checked out Andre Kaufmann. And then he saw that Andre Kaufmann played 2000, 2001, 18 games in Canada and won a championship in somewhere in a senior
Canada.
league. Yeah.
I don't think that's possible.
I don't know if it's true or not, if there's
No.
another Andre Kaufmann.
No, that can't be right. He didn't like speaking English. He didn't like speaking English.
He just couldn't, yeah.
It is interesting, all the different things you learn from people around the world and different traditions. One thing that I
And-
remember of Andre was if he felt like he was getting sick or whatever, if they thought they were getting sick from where he was from, you would do, I think it was 3 shots of vodka with a whole bunch of pepper in it, and then wrap yourself in a whole bunch of blankets and go to sleep and sweat it all out or something. Do you? Yeah.
I remember that, but I think that Sharpie told us that he heard that in Russia when he played there.
Sharpie was a beauty too. Yeah. Him and his wife came to the shed, right?
Yeah, I listened. It was awesome. Awesome.
It's great getting to catch up with everybody. We had so much fun. Even the years we did kind of sucked. It was still fun, right?
Yeah, Sharpie was almost our game changer, but then he had his
Injury.
he gets sick, you know. Yeah. No,
Oh yeah, the
he was so
sinus
sick, he was-
infection, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too bad.
Yeah, no, and he was the type of guy that brings teams together, right? Like he was just a great
Yeah.
dude that just knew what hockey was all
Awesome.
about. Yeah.
Awesome,
I agree.
Experienced player.
I got a question for you. What's your favorite Monday Fun Day that we had at the start of that year? Because folks that want to hear the story was we started out in the second league with you could call them the New York Yankees of the second league. We bought a team that is better than the other teams, and we are beating everybody, and we're having a time. We've been there since July. We all know each other, and we know what Tuesday practices are like, and they're a disaster. But we decide Mondays are day off. So we're getting together and we're having Monday Fun Days, and everybody's going to get together. We're going to take turns who organizes Monday Fun Day. And then we did it for a couple months, and then maybe we got a little carried away one day, and then I showed up for practice and got called in the coach's office, and he was like, stop it. And I was like, I don't want to. But we had to stop Monday Fun Day. I don't know how he found out about it, but he did. But we
Yeah,
were sure
Oliver,
having fun.
I think we weren't, or those young Germans weren't be a part of all the Monday Fun Days.
Oh, you were always invited.
Yeah,
Maybe you were
I don't
working
know,
on
because
Mondays or something.
yeah, my Catherine was working on Monday, so we tried to hang out Sunday or Mondays together. We went to cinema or something, and I think that night in the basin was special. Also because we carried Dan Hyman home.
Yeah, we did.
And when
Did
we
you ever
were at
listen to
Europe, yeah, I remember that night so good.
Is this when he is
I
this
think
when
when
he
we
is this when he
stepped,
went when he couldn't find his way out of the room, so he might have he couldn't find the toilet, so he ended up going on the floor, then wiping it up with his shirt.
I didn't know that, but
I wasn't
remember
gonna tell the story, but Schmitty told it in episode 3, right off the hop.
I laughed so loud when I heard it. We carried him home, and when we were at your place, we said, "Oh, Dan, where's your second shoe?"
You did have. That's right. We were trying to figure out how he's gonna show up to practice with one shoe on. That's definitely the same night though, that like how dark those rooms are. He couldn't find his way out of the room, and then when he had he'd wet the floor, he was kind enough to wipe it up with his shirt. So then he left my apartment topless and then walks by the school class that he had just read books to that week. That was Schmitty's story. And you know what's funny is every time I talk to someone, there's like a little thing that sticks in my brain that like I remember. And when I first started this in episode 3, Schmitty came on and I was just figuring out what I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing really, but when I started it and we were talking about what he was doing now, he said to me, he says, "Well, Waldo," he goes, "you don't like living a normal life." He's like, "You don't like just getting up and doing the same thing every day." And he's like, "You don't want to live a normal life. You want to live like it used to be." And what's cool for me is now that I do this, it is like I'm not living a normal life. It's like I woke up today just thinking I was just going to do the normal thing and take a day off. And then I get on with you and I'm like, I want you. I want to do this now. And I didn't know I was doing this morning. And it's really cool that my life is like unpredictable again. And I don't know what's going to happen each day, I think it's fun.
When you talk about Schmidt, it was also funny. My dad is always telling me the story. He said they want that Schmidt should stay in Bietigheim. I think he had a 2-year contract. And Schmidt asked them who will be coach next season. And then they said, it's Riddick again. And then Schmidt said, "Before I play another year for Riddick, I go in jail."
It's not surprising. Yeah. I was doing it when I was trying to make my name in hockey and I was young and I was 23 or 24. And like, I can't imagine doing it in my 30s, what we were doing. I can't imagine Roby doing all those runs and the workouts in his 40s, man. That is crazy. I remember walking away from the track one day and we're walking back to the rink with we're so sore and we're so hurt. And Roby says, he goes, "Waldo, how do you like that you've just taken a year or 2 off your career in the last month?" He's like, "I don't care." He's like, "I'm 41. It's over." He's like, "How do you feel?" What a time. Oh gosh, it was fun. Hey, once the workouts were over though, they were over. See you next Monday. I still remember Dougie and I spent a lot of time together during July, but we also spent a lot of time with your brother Manu when we'd go to Fußgänger Zone in Stuttgart and just sit there and drink beers and watch people walk by us. Those are my favorite days. People watching and drinking beers in Stuttgart,
Do you remember? I think it was also the championship season because Bad Tölz ran out of money. And then we had, once in a while, we had a free weekend and we went skiing to Oberstdorf.
Oh, I remember going skiing with you. Yeah, yeah, that's a great memory. Where did we go? I never knew where that was.
In Oberstdorf, Germany. Yeah, so
I have
yeah, it,
I still remember it clear as day because we did have the weekend off, and Lisa and I decided to make a weekend of it. And you guys just came up the day it was time to ski, right? And we got a
Yeah.
hotel and went up the night before. And
yeah,
we get to the hotel and we're like, well, what do you want to do? I'm like, I don't know. Why don't we go for a walk? And we start going for a walk, and we can just hear music. And we're like, that's like a festival music. That's like Oktoberfest music. That's like Christmas market something. I'm like, let's walk towards the music. And then we get to this place, and it's like the après ski party. And next thing we know, we got a whole crew of like 10 other Germans with us. And it turned into like a conga line. And all of a sudden they're grabbing Lisa, and she's in a conga line. And we had like the best night ever. And then you get there the next day and you're like, okay, let's ski. And we're like,
yeah,
we're
9
not
o'clock.
ready. Yeah. And we're like, we are not ready to ski. We're like, well, we're going to take the half day pass and we'll see you for lunch. Yeah, that was a busy night. Yeah. We didn't think that was going to happen, but it did. It's fun though. Germany's a fun place when you get to those places. You guys know how to get down, you know?
Yeah.
The Pferdemarkt was always a
Sometimes.
special place. Is the kebab shop still beside the arena in Bietigheim?
Oh yeah.
They were a busy place, eh? Are the high school students still showing up at a certain time every day and making the lineup
Every
out the
day.
door? They know what
Every
to do.
day.
Yeah, that guy is,
Yep.
whoever owns that is having a time. But they're doing it right. I tell you, I gave them a bunch of money in my time at Bietigheim.
Also the Italian place, you know, right beside the dressing room. Very good pizza.
With the mini golf.
Mini golf. Yeah.
Yeah, that we got a lot of pizzas
Also
from there. Yeah. Spetzi's not a thing in Canada still, eh? Is Spetzi's still a thing over there, eh? Yeah, of course it is.
Normal.
Yeah. I just it makes no sense that it's not in Canada or the US. It makes no sense. It's the best pop out there. And if I was ever going to have a pop, I want a Spetzi and I can't get it. You know? Folks, a Spetzi is half Fanta, half Coke, but they have it in their own bottle and it's called Spetzi and it's awesome. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
Anyways.
different cultures.
Memories, eh? Okay, let's see here. Pferdemarkt, though, we could really run amok there, eh? We would really have fun. And when you play in Bietigheim, there's really no reason to ever go all the way to Oktoberfest because you have Volksfest in Stuttgart and you have the Pferdemarkt at Bietigheim, right?
I have to tell you another story about Pferdemarkt.
Uh-oh, I'm not involved, am I?
No.
That's
it
good.
was like a junior player who has a tryout contract or had a contract for the first team, and he's from Bietigheim, so he also, you know, in Germany it's allowed to drink beer. He was 16.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people in the tent are 16 or a little bit older. And he went there with the team. I think they go Monday evening. They always go there. And he went there with Steelers polo shirt and, you know, all those
all the
older
Steelers stuff.
All the guys, they pay rounds, and he had a good time in the tent. And next day, someone woke him up, and he said, "Oh, where I am, and who are you? Here's the police. Where are you, and why you are in this bathroom?" So he was lying in a Badewanne.
A what?
And in the bathroom, you
Yeah.
know, in the shower top,
Yeah.
but not
where?
in his house.
Someone else's house?
Someone else's house. And they woke up and they said, "Hey, there's someone laying in my shower. We have to call the police." And he has still the Steelers polo shirt on.
Good idea, buddy.
And then he had no clue how he came there, and then he was so shy.
Nobody
that
found him in the tunnel to get him home.
Yeah, it was everywhere. The newspaper was all around
Oh,
Stuttgart.
really?
It was, yes. It was here, like, police find young player after Pferdemarkt party in someone else's house. And he was so shy that he never went back to the Steelers. He said, "Hey, I thought
That's
about
too
it.
bad.
I think it's better if I don't play pro hockey."
That's too bad. That's too bad.
But that's what Pferdemarkt makes, you know.
It can get carried away, folks. And the funny part for me when I look back on it, when I was that young and I'd go there, I kind of pretended like people didn't know who I was in Bietigheim, and I like acted like, well, nobody knows who I am. I don't know who they are. And then you can get carried away, and it's like, well, everybody does know who you are. You're the only person that can't speak German, you know, and you walk around in flip-flops all day, and nobody else will. So they know who you are, right? And I would get carried away, and then I would pretend like nobody knew, but they did. Good times. The Pferdemarkt can really bring teams together, though, right? It really can.
Yeah.
That's a great way to kick off a season and get the boys in the beer tent, you know? Okay. Lama Bar still around?
Yeah, still around.
That was our honey
Still-
hole, eh? That was a place we'd go a lot of Sunday nights after a win.
Unbelievable how many times we went there, and the owners changed. But I think after 2013, when I didn't play for the Steelers anymore, I was there maybe 2 times since 2013.
Because you went there way too many times.
No, it's just
It's just different.
it's just different. It ended, yeah.
It's not the same.
Was our restaurant not the same? Yeah.
I think it was like Dirk's buddy that started that or something, right?
Could be, but they sold it, I think, with good money.
Okay, here's another one I brought up with Craig Teeple, and maybe you remember it. Do you remember when I sang like karaoke to the whole parade for like the Pferdemarkt? And I sang George Strait, Clear Blue Sky.
Yes.
To like all of minor hockey, and I like just joined the team like a month before, and I was singing karaoke to the whole town.
It was the Pferdemarkt Umzug, and we just waited there like an hour
Forever.
before.
Forever. And we were all hungover because we'd all had a fun night at the Pferdemarkt, right?
Yeah.
It was not fun sitting around waiting, so I thought I'd try and make it fun, right?
And then right behind us was the Bietigheim Bissingen Country Club or something.
The old folks line dance or square dancing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's spiced up today though. It's interesting for me to think about it now because I just did it. But then to think of like those minor hockey kids and parents that were like, who is this guy and what is he doing? It was so boring sitting there though. God, you got to spice it up sometimes, right? Anywho, what else do we got here? I don't even know what else to talk about. You were not the erotic photo shoot with me and Renee though, eh?
No, but Reeds showed me the picture, and I always remember the story because when everybody else was coming next day in and said, "Hey, how was the meeting yesterday?" And they said, "It's not. You can't. It was so terrible, and we have to talk to the team. Those pictures, they can't be allowed to come out. Our wives, they will kill us."
Well, maybe those are for the fellows that got in the shower scene, right? I didn't go in the shower scene, so I wasn't getting in trouble. I was just doing my job. I might have looked to see what was going on in the shower just to see, but I didn't get in the shower. Oh, you know what else is a fun memory that I've only done in Germany, and it was only because Danny Held was our coach. We went and played in Rosenheim, and then got on a train with all the fans, and drank all the way back from Rosenheim to Bietigheim. That was a long night too. Kegs on the train, all the fans on there, but I think we lost, so everybody wasn't in as good of a mood as it could have been. But everybody still had fun.
At the beginning, and then after a couple 2 beers,
Everybody relaxed a bit.
Relaxed a little bit, forgot.
We ended up back at the train bar when it got back to Bietigheim. It was a late night for everybody, but that's a pretty cool thing to do for a hockey team. To a lot of people in Germany, folks go take the train to games. We got finished the game and then walked to the train station in Rosenheim, and we all took it's like a special train back with kegs and a bar, and it was a time, right?
Good memories.
Good memories.
Special.
So, yeah, other than that though, then it was weird when I did leave and switch to Helbrod, and then I never came back to Bietigheim, and it's weird because 4 years in a place, and then you become brothers with guys, and then you just don't see them again,
Yeah.
Weird.
It's just, your daily day or daily business catch you always up, and then.
Well, hockey's just a
tough,
strange
so-
sport that to stay in a team for really long, it takes special people. And like, I've had a bunch of them on, like you stayed at the same place basically your whole career. Not many people get to do that,
Yeah.
Hmm.
But also, Manu played in a lot of teams, and at the beginning when Manu had no kids, he always came back in the summertime, and we had a soccer tournament in Hohenhaslach. Was always 3 days, and he also always talked about the soccer tournament on all those teams he played, and he always brought some new guys from all those hockey teams for a couple days to Hohenhaslach, and we had a good time there. They slept at my parents' places, and it was also everywhere you go you can find good people, and it's special.
Yeah, some people
Also-
it's good to stay on one team because you have those people, but then you do like the more teams you go on, you meet good people on every team, right? And you get brothers for life.
Yeah, everywhere, like your school buddy you talk to, Rashish, I don't know what his name
Oh,
is.
Yachis.
Yeah, it's also, when I stopped playing hockey, I started school here in Bietigheim 1 year, and first day you go to the class and you think, oh man, all those crazy people, how should I survive this year?
It's not
And
it's
then
not the
after-
same as going into a hockey room, is it?
Yeah, but then after 1 year you find your friends, and you always or I try to text them maybe one time a year and say, hey, what's up, how are you doing? And it's great to if it's possible to travel a little bit and
See different things and experience different things. It's like if
Yeah.
I would have just been in Germany, that's all I'd know, right? I did get to go out there and see other things. So
yeah.
it's all good. But one thing I would say, like, I don't know what else you got, but the thing I remember in Bietigheim was when I got there, like how much I loved it, the town, the people, but I think your family, you, your brother, and your parents were a big part of that. Was in that July when we're there on the weekends, we don't really know what we're doing. That like we would have the barbecues. We felt welcome. We felt like part of the community, and it was like that right from the start. And I think that's why I was so sour when I left, was because I did love it so much there, and I did want to be there, and it was an awesome place to play hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
But-
still is. It still is.
Yeah. So they're going back to the second league, though, eh?
Yeah. They have a big break now, and we will see what will happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Never know.
Yeah, well, things change, right? Who the coach is,
Yeah.
who the managers are, it changes everything of who they're going to bring in, what type of people they're going to bring in. I'm pretty sure I saw
Yeah.
that Bietigheim had like a Finnish coach last year, which then he's going to bring in like Finnish imports instead of Canadians. And it's like, I don't recall when Bietigheim had coaches that weren't really German or Canadian, but right, things change.
It's true, yeah. But all the Finnish guys, they came this season, and I think they had a management and the coach signed them. They had a pretty good goalie, I think, but also he was almost the whole season hurt, so
Yeah,
doesn't
tough
help.
year. No,
Yeah.
if your goalie's hurt, that's a tough year. You need goalies to win. Yeah.
And I don't think the little bit better imports. I heard they all changed to different DL teams.
Right. They don't want to
And
come down.
if they can or want the other Finnish imports, I don't think so. We'll see.
Yeah.
We will see.
Do you still go watch the games then?
Most times on TV, not so many times in the
Person, yeah.
in the rink.
Here's a
And,
question. Would you have
with
to
the
buy a
kids.
ticket to get in, or do they let you in?
I for myself, I would buy a ticket to go in.
Just to
We have a
support them?
couple. Yeah, I'm not the kind of guy who said, "Hey, I want to come to the game
For free.
I am allowed to come free." It's different because we have a couple sponsors, friends, and when they have free tickets, they ask me, "Hey, do you want to come?" And then I said, "Oh, nice that you asked me. Yes, I like to come." And then I go, but
Yeah.
I never would go to the team
And ask
because I
for it.
also know for the management how yeah, how hard it is to get every year that's the salary or the budget together for the team, and how they fight for every euro and yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
It's
heard so
this.
much
It's this.
from my dad, and I also heard it in the dressing room that they said, "Oh, hey, why we don't get higher bonuses, or that's too bad." And I always heard on the other side that they said, "Oh, like in the championship year, I hope they don't win so much because
Yeah.
we don't have the budget to pay all those bonuses."
No, for sure. Those, yeah, and yeah, they probably weren't expecting us to be as good as we were that year.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny.
So yeah,
No, it makes
everything
sense when you
has
start.
two sides.
Yeah, it does, right? And you start putting it more together as you get older and you start seeing it, but you would have been hearing it from your dad or what it was like. But yeah, it's interesting as I get chatting around and you start thinking about the business side and the management side, and then also the player side. It makes you think a little differently.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? It's been great seeing you again, sir. It's been way too long. That's my favorite part of all this, though. It really is. It's like, if I wouldn't have started this, it's like I wouldn't have woke up and been like, why hasn't Marcy come to the shed yet? And I was like, why hasn't that happened? And I'm like, I got to change that. And then all of a sudden my day changes, and so does yours, right? And thanks to Katrin for making this work for us so we could do this, right?
I tell her.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
And it was great to see her too, but it's awesome. It's like when you guys came over to Canada, it gives you memories for life, and like, I don't know, that's what hockey gives you, right?
It's too bad that Canada is so far away now, and the plane tickets are so expensive. But I think for sure we will visit one year PJ and Steph.
Yeah.
And yeah, who knows,
Well,
also,
it's crazy for me to think I'm
think
not coming back to Bietigheim for Renee's game, because Justin invited me back for his. Now Renee has, and I haven't been able to make either of them. It's like, we have to make it back to Bietigheim. I really should be there for Renee. It sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, it is like it is,
It's life, I
tough
guess.
in
Yeah.
normal life, yeah. But also, it's nice because I see Kobe growing up, and
Yeah.
I
And I
saw
got to meet your
another,
daughter. Yeah.
yeah, and it's you always welcome here, and also Kobe is, and when he's older, maybe when he's 16, maybe one day he will play in Europe, or if not, also when he's 20 and he says, hey man, I want to go see Europe, he's always welcome here, yeah.
And that's the type of
has
people
here,
you guys always were. Yeah.
yeah, and has here a place where he can sleep for free, and because it's like we had so good time, and we were welcome at your place, and
Oh,
we
yeah.
don't forget this. And I think if more people would be like that, maybe there would be
The
less
world
war,
could be the world could be a better place.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. If everybody
and
just wanted to have fun and enjoy life.
yeah,
Yeah.
and no, not because you just speak a different language, you don't like people or something. No, yeah,
Yeah.
hockey brought us together and made good histories, made friendships. That's special.
It is, and hockey brings a lot of people together, and it's weird when you get out of the game and you're kind of pissed off and mad at the game for where you're at in life, but then when you get out the other side and life's going better and things are going better, and then you start realizing everything it did give you, right? And it changes your perception. And then when we can do this and bring back all these good memories, and you realize how much fun you were having and how, it was a great time of our lives. And yeah, like I said, your family was a big part of that. So cheers. Broast. And that's it, Marcy. I got to get back to the real world. I can't believe I didn't pause it earlier. What a mess. This has been another episode of 2 Ales and Hockey Tales. It's 5 Ales and Hockey Tales, folks, with Biza and Wally.